Where am I today?
Gonna harmonize and we're gonna shout. Gonna sing, yeah. Gonna tell you what good living's all about. I'm gonna tell you, I don't know about anyone else.
So today, out here doing a little fishing. Typically today, whenever you and I think about fishing, this is what we think of. We think of standing on a bank of a little pond, maybe even if you have a boat. But for sure, you've got a rod and a reel. This is how we fish. I've got a lure on the end of my fishing line. It's meant to attract a certain kind of fish. I may or may not catch any, but nevertheless, this is what we think of fishing. "2,000 years ago, this is not the way fishing worked. If you remember, Jesus came along to some fishermen, Peter, Andrew, James, and John, and they were doing something. So they were cleaning or mending their nets, and he said, "Come follow me, I'll make you fishers of men." Let me show you more what fishing was like 2,000 years ago. Let me get my net, and I'm going to show you a couple things with that. 2,000 years ago, whenever they were fishing, this is much closer to what they would have been doing. Again, it says they were cleaning their nets. You can tell mine's dirty already, but let me show you a little bit more about how this would work. You gather it up, you get ready for the throw, and I'm going to throw just out here in front of me. So I'm going to do like this, swing it, and I try to get it to spin. The weights will sink to the bottom, and I'm going to catch a bunch of algae. Yep. All I've got here is a bunch of algae. Ugh. You can see the need to clean your nets. Now this is different from trying to fish with a rod and reel and a lure. The lure is supposed to catch specific kinds of fish. The net, it catches whatever it lands on. That includes even the seaweed there. Let's throw it again. So those weights will sink to the bottom, and then whenever I pull on this, it closes the net up on whatever's under it. Nothing. Ooh, I caught one. See, little perch, bluegill. So you can see whatever's underneath the net, it'll close it in, it'll catch it. Jesus came along and he said, "I will make you fishers of men." And I think we tend to associate it with that specific rod and reel with a lure trying to catch those specific kinds of fish, but the gospel is much more like the net. Whatever is underneath it, it will try to catch. And so it's our job to make sure we're casting the net. Sometimes it comes back empty. Sometimes you come back with one little bitty fish, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't choose what kind of fish. It just grabs whatever it grabs. And I think the gospel works much more like that, as it grabs anybody as long as we're throwing the net out there. So next time you see somebody out fishing, I want you to remember the idea of being fishers of men and taking the gospel with us wherever we go. So thanks for joining me for another episode of Where in the World is Dustin Jones?
Gonna tell you what good living's all about. We're gonna sing, we're gonna shout, we're gonna sing.
Gonna sing.
Let's sing.
Yeah.